All right, here we go. Today's edition of the Carolina weather video for this January the 6th. And we are talking about our incoming winter storm that's going to affect a lot of folks here across the Carolinas and especially the Southeast. Now, let me start things off with some weather headlines. And this is going to be specific to the Piedmont of North Carolina, and then I'll expand the view out and talk about some other areas as this video rolls along. But for the Piedmont of North Carolina, could see some light snow as early as this afternoon, but not a big deal with that. The heavy accumulating type of snow for most of us holding off until this evening and tonight, and I think there will be some heavy snow at times for many spots as this storm system rolls on through, and travel will become in many areas difficult, if not impossible, the deeper we get into the night. I start out with a couple live cameras this morning. We'll begin here with Greensboro and a couple things to show you here. First of all, we have an overcast sky in place. That's a key, as that's going to help to hold temperatures down today. In fact, those clouds only really thickening and lowering the deeper we get into the day. And that's going to really kind of hold temperatures down for us. Now we'll take a look down in Charlotte as well, the Queen City. There's your cloud cover. Again, that's going to be thickening and lowering as we get a little bit deeper into the day. Temperature, I'm cutting this video just before 8 a.m. this morning, temperature 35 at that point in time. All right, there's your temperatures around the region. It's 30 in Asheville. Now, look at the cold air continuing to spill our way. 14 in Louisville, Kentucky, 19 in Nashville, 21 with snow in Memphis. It's been snowing in Nashville, too, snow approaching Knoxville. It's 0 in Chicago. Look at all the way below zero temperatures in the northern plains, the upper Midwest. This is absolutely nasty cold, and I don't want anyone to miss this outside of the snow that everybody's talking about, and rightfully so. It's going to be brutally cold this weekend, so you need to make preparations to have a way to stay warm in the event you lose power in the spot to see heavier snow, as it's going to be really, really cold Saturday through Monday. Winter storm warnings up in much of the region. The purple shady counties, those are winter weather advisories, and the blue counties you see, those are winter storm watches where the confidence and types and nature precipitation a little bit lower. But the pink areas, those are winter storm warnings. They extend all the way down into eastern Alabama. Now, this is the radar imagery this morning as you look at the initial finger of snow through Arkansas into Tennessee, working eastward further to the south. There's blossoming precipitation through Texas and Louisiana, moving into Mississippi and Alabama. And just as a for instance, let me show you a camera there from one of the DOT cameras in Memphis. That's I-240. Notice the snow along the shoulders of the interstate there. And that precipitation intensity will only be ramping up as this moves further to the east. So there's your low pressure down near New Orleans this morning. I do think, again, across North Carolina, some light snow possible at times here as we go through the afternoon. But it's tonight when this period of moderate to heavy snow rolls on through. Challenging forecast as you get over toward Raleigh. Really a challenge around places like Atlanta, too. I'll show you some more detail on this coming up in just a moment. But here we go with temperatures today. It's going to be a chilly day. And then as that snow falls tonight, look at the temperatures dropping down through the 20s. And so you have a nighttime snow event. Temperatures dropping well below freezing. You should have very effective accumulating snow conditions. Now, tomorrow, snow in the morning will gradually taper off as the system departs. It's going to take a while, though, to kind of clear the clouds out. And with this low sun angle combined with the lingering clouds through portions of the day, I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of improvement with road conditions as tomorrow rolls along, and then certainly brutally cold tomorrow night. And this is the North American model. There's that footprint of snow rolling on through. Now let me show you some of the model projected snow totals. First of all, through our graphic system here, this is that 6Z NAM. New run due in the next couple of hours as I cut the video, but this was the 6Z run. GFS computer model from 6Z looks like that. And then finally, here's a peek at the European computer model. Frankly, not bad agreement overall now at this stage in the game. So here's my probabilities of 3 inches of snow. That brighter red or pink shading there. That's where you have a pretty good probability of picking up at least 3 inches of snow. And then here's my overall snow accumulation forecast. It gets very uncertain down into Alabama and Georgia, but then certainly looks pretty good for much of North Carolina. Now the trick here is you get over toward eastern North Carolina around Raleigh and points near there, and even down towards, say, Union and Richmond counties, in the eastern parts of the Charlotte metro is temperatures aloft and how much warming occurs as this system wraps up. Now, again, I'll show you more details in just a second. I want to mention this. There's what we're going with for low temperatures Sunday morning, and then here's what we're going with for low temperatures on Monday morning. Absolutely brutally cold stuff, assuming that the snowpack gets laid down. Sorry for that noise in the background there. All right, let me take you through some computer modeling here. All right, so let's look aloft first of all. European model from overnight. There's our incoming storm system. This is this afternoon, and then we get out to tomorrow around daybreak. Pretty sharp piece of energy. Those pieces of energy relatively separated, and allowing the precipitation to get thrown back to the north and west. Let me step you through, first of all, the 0Z run of the GFS. This is early this evening, and then here we go. This is the evening into the overnight into daybreak, and then there we go, daybreak to early afternoon Saturday, and then the system pulls away from there. This was the snow footprint from the GFS model of 0Z run, the 0Z run last night. Closer inspection there. The European, let me go back to this. There's the GFS, there's the European. That is not bad agreement at all in terms of snow accumulation. Now, as we get into the 6Z modeling, here's the 6Z GFS. You'll notice it's very, very similar. It did tick just a little bit further northwest, but it's very similar. There's the evening, overnight, daybreak to early afternoon, and then there's the system goes from there. So there's your footprint of snow from the 6Z GFS. And again, if you want to compare that to the previous run, 0Z and 6Z. Pretty similar, a hair to the northwest in some instances. There's a close-up view. Charlotte up to parts of the Triad and Triangle regions, and the heavy footprint of snow on the GFS. Now, again, I mentioned one of the areas where there's a forecast challenge. Look at this, just as a curiosity. This is Atlanta. I mean, you're talking about a huge range in possibilities, not only in precipitation amounts, but types. Now, they're in Atlanta, and I'll be honest with you, that is, I've been so focused on North Carolina and South Carolina that I just have not had much time to diagnose much with Georgia or Alabama. It's just a tricky forecast that there's high bust potential back that way. All right, a couple of the models here. Regional Canadian model, which oftentimes does very, very well with winter storms. That's what it looks like with its most recent 6C run. Not bad at all. And a couple other things to show you before I wrap up the video. All right, here's the trend on the NAM model of the past 3 runs. Actually, it looks like I got 4 runs in there. All right, either way, you get the idea that overall, although there's some wobbles in there, you've been expanding the precipitation, generally speaking, over the foothill regions as the intensity of this disturbance is seen. And I didn't do one through the 6C, but this was the as of the 0Z GFS, that trend kind of leveling off. The trend kind of leveling off. But we were settling into what for many of us is going to be a really healthy winter storm. Finally, the UK Met, which I think has been the best model, frankly, leading up to this system. There's a low pressure tucked just off the coast of Charleston around daybreak tomorrow, and from there it wraps up offshore of the northeast. So again, I didn't stick any 850 millibar temperatures in there, but the trick over here around, this is the GFS, by the way, from the 0Z run. Now this is factoring in snow ratios, and so that's why you see the bigger numbers here. It's figuring in the snow ratios, which I do think I did some kind of hand calculations earlier. And, you know, I think in the Triad, you could be looking at snow ratios of 13, 14, maybe 15 to 1, up toward Hickory, similar idea. And Elizabeth City, maybe 11 to 12 to 1, assuming the NAM is not the correct model with the thermal profile. So that's, again, is figuring in the snow ratio. So looking at those snow ratios, all right, this is valid at 1 a.m., and I know the legend's off screen here, but that line right there, that's the 12 to 1 ratio line. And then you go out, oh, well, I grabbed the wrong one. Here we go. Now you go out to 4 a.m. And again, anything north of it is better than a 12 to 1 ratio. So you're looking at more of a drier snow the further north and west you go in the area. So again, 850 millibar, 5,000 foot temperatures. That's the trick. How much warming do you see for places like Raleigh and then over down toward the Midlands of South Carolina and in the eastern sections of the Charlotte metro? I think at this point, Charlotte and the Triad stay 90% or more snow. You shouldn't have a lot of mixing issues unless there's some drastic changes. So that's why I think you're, again, looking at a scenario something like this for snow accumulations. All right. So that's what I'm going with right now. And as always, there's going to be some variability there. Some folks will see more, some will see less. But that's the basic idea right now. And again, don't miss this. Here's the raw temperatures for lows. If I can find where I put that. I got so many charts here to show you that I got to get things out of order. All right, here we go. Yeah, these are lows off the 0Z GFS for Sunday morning. These are always overdone a bit, but you get that. Look at that. That's Monday morning. That's almost certainly overdone, but you certainly get the idea. A big, big deal. And before I wrap it up here, I did throw the percentages freezing rain potential in there. This is the chance of a glazing of ice. Well, looks like we lost that. Either way. All right, well, there you go. It could be a glazing of ice in parts of the southern and eastern Carolinas down into the South Alabama and South Georgia. All right, that is it for the latest edition of the video. Everybody have a great day, and God bless.